This week on the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast.
Moving on to the segment that Denis loves. He did the happy dance for us. You have a different dance you can do for us this week?
I get the shopping cart.
The shopping cart dance? What's that?
You don't know that one?
No.
There you go.
Nice. I've never heard of that.
That's the shopping cart.
Well,
you could visualize it, which is good. I was in a boy band.
Hi, I'm Chad the Quirky Picker. I'm a full-time reseller from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Hi everyone, I'm Denis the Free King Flipper. I'm a full-time reseller from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Join us each week as we discuss life as a full-time reseller. We will share our experiences, both the good and the not so good.
Learn from our expertise and our mistakes.
From sourcing to listing to shipping
to customer interactions, we will cover it all.
This is the Full-Time Flippers
Reselling Podcast.
This is the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast, episode 16. Welcome to the show. If this is your first time watching, I am Chad the Quirky Picker, and I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Denis the Free King Flipper.
Hey, Denis.
What's happening?
Hey. We record this podcast every Friday afternoon, unless we have a conflict, and it comes out Monday mornings normally. We talk about life as full-time resellers. We aren't YouTubers. We don't make money on YouTube. We just both love doing this podcast because we get to talk to one another about full-time reselling, about the day-to-day happenings, and what it's like to be a full-time reseller. So, Denis, tell me about your reselling week.
Well, if you've watched before, you know that I'm full-time and I have a schedule where I will source on multiple days. I will list every single day, and then I will ship on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this week was no different. I hit a really cool estate sale. I don't know if you followed that on Instagram, where the guy was moving and there was an entire estate sale, entire home sale, and I found 5 full giant boxes of stuff. So that really set up for a very good week, and I've been selling a ton of stuff out of this haul. Old like wool pennants from Georgetown and Vanderbilt. Big box of old video games, Nintendo stuff, some mid-century modern stuff, all kind, like everything. And we were just throwing everything in a box. And he's like, "Oh, what did you find there?" And I thought he was going to go through each individual item. So I just sold something there. Yeah. But anyway, I pulled out $100 bill, and I'm like, "Would $100 do it?" And his eyes lit up, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." So I sold 2 items, 2 video games out of the lot, and it sold. It paid for everything. So
what were the games? Are you gonna share that later, or what?
Tons of Game Boy games. I will, yeah.
Okay.
Game Boy games. The gold Zelda game. Some Super Nintendo. A couple of regular Game Boy Advance games. So they were just in a box. It was insane. So I have a video of us going down there, going through it. Actually, it's on my stories. If you go to my Instagram, it's on a post. I didn't do a story, so it's still there. You'll see it. It's crazy. So Good week.
Were you the first one there?
We drove by it twice, and my wife's like, "I think it's there," and I said, "I don't see anything here." And it was literally a house behind a house with a shared driveway. So I'm like, "All right," I feel a little weird just driving down someone's driveway, but sure enough, it was behind the house. No one could find it.
Man. So
I had at least 40 minutes in the basement, just me and my wife digging like a private pick. And then all of a sudden somebody else showed up, and we were done. We were done by then. We picked the entire basement, like a hoarder type situation. There was just stuff everywhere. So we left a ton. I don't know. We just left some stuff. We're just, I'm just going to get the cream of the crop and leave, the average stuff there.
Is it tomorrow too?
Yeah, he is. He's going to do it again tomorrow. And I'm thinking about maybe filling a box or 2. So price is right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
When you made your money back on the first 2 sales,
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when was this? What day?
This was last Saturday.
Okay. And I love it. I went to an estate sale this morning. A couple of family members emptying out an uncle's, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quote me on that because no one can check it anyhow, but his house. And he was a golfer. There was a tailor-made golf bag, really nice one, looked beautiful. Nice. And I'm like, how much for the golf bag? And they're like $10. So I snapshotted it and did some comps on eBay. $175 is what it's selling for. Flipped it over and the bottom plastic piece is broke. However, it's removable with screws. And I'm like, do they make replacement parts for these? Because why else would it be removable? I'm assuming that's part of the golf bags that get the most damage is the bottom.
Sure.
Picking them up. So it comes off and I'm like, but I want to take it off, see if there's a model number on the bottom of it. And maybe I can type it in eBay and find a replacement bottom piece. Because I don't know what it'll sell for damaged.
Yeah.
The leather's fine. The zippers are fine. All that I could tell.
I don't know. I don't know if they were meant to be serviceable or what, but
I just figured it'd be one piece if it wasn't. And you can, there's like 5 screws that hold it on. So something's going on there. I'm going to figure it out this week.
That'd be a good flip.
Yeah. Last week or last Monday, my neighbor, Tim, who has all the electronics that I bought, I filled the trunk up with my car, I went back and bought another $200 worth of electronics, record players, amplifiers, rack mounted amps for like professional stereo equipment, maybe 3 or 4 dual cassette decks and some other stuff. And he threw an old reel-to-reel in and some other stuff.
Oh yeah.
But he bought out a store in a neighboring city. And this is all the stuff he wasn't interested in. He likes old vintage reel-to-reel, like large reel-to-reel items. He'll restore them and sell those. That's what he loves to do. But in order to get those reel-to-reels, he just bought out the entire store to get a great deal. So all the stuff that he has, he just wants to try to recoup his costs for what he paid.
Yep.
So I got all that stuff and I've already sold a couple things. I'm up to almost $100, but one of the items in there that I haven't listed yet is worth $200 on its own.
Nice.
So, I'm happy with that. So this week has been I've been listing electronics on eBay. Tuesday, I listed computer monitors all day. Well, I packed up in the morning, but the rest of my day was listing computer monitors. I had to test them all and I threw away 3 of them. They had either some damage to them, but a lot of them, the screens work fine, but there was not enough resale value it had to be almost in mint condition to be worth selling on eBay. Wednesday, I listed video electronics like VCRs and DVD players and Blu-ray players. And then Thursday, I listed record players and I started working on dual cassettes. So that's been my week. All my extra minutes have just been listing electronics. And I've already sold 4 items already that I've listed. So when stuff sells that fast, I'm just like, I'm pricing it to sell. And I'm happy when I list it, I'd be happy with that price. But then it just makes me think, could I have charged $10 more, $20 more? I don't know. Or is that the reason why mine sold is because it's like $1 cheaper than the next one?
That's what I like to think. There's a very small window between selling fast over here and then sitting for months. And it's that little, if someone wants that model number, they're going to look, sort it by most inexpensive first, and they're going to buy 1 or 2 of the top ones. So I'd like to be at the top.
Speaking of sorting by price, have you noticed that Terapeak, when you sort by price, it's sorting by the actual price of the item and not adding the shipping in?
Yeah.
Because like the 3rd item down might be the 3rd cheapest one, but it's got $50 shipping. And then the 4th one down is like a penny more and it has $15 shipping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why are they doing this to us? You should always sort by total price.
Total price.
Why would I care what the price of just the item is? Because if the shipping is going to be $50,
I don't get that either.
I don't know what they're doing, but I just noticed that's happening now on Terapeak. Moving on to viewer mail. Each one of us will share at least one viewer comment from the last week. Dennis, do you have a comment?
Yeah, it was great. We got a bunch of comments on that last episode. that was featuring Tara, Sell Trash, Get Money. And this comment comes from the Happy Picker. And she says, I love Tara. So glad to see you guys had her as a guest. My first glimpse of her actual face. Yes, ours too. And we had a lot of fun. And I actually reached out to the Happy Picker on Instagram, and we were chatting about that same thing, how great Tara was and knowledgeable. So thank you, Happy Picker. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your comments.
Yeah. All right. I have a comment from Games Not Over 1576, who we've mentioned several times in our other episodes. Yeah. They said, in regards to selling silverware, flatware, whatever you want to call it, depends where you live, I guess. Is that a regional thing, or is it a technical thing? I don't know.
We call it silverware.
I call it silverware, even though it's not silver. They said, I have had good luck with flatware in the past, but it was really tedious to find. But thanks, Tara, for the information on that website. I might look into it, but more flatware again in the future. Okay, I read it verbatim, but I think there was a typo in there somewhere. But yeah, I came across some silverware at an estate sale today, and I didn't buy it. I kind of forgot about it, actually. I was looking at it for a little bit, and then I left it on the table, but several of the spoons looked like they had been dropped in the garbage disposal and chewed up a little. Because I'm like, nobody, unless this person has steel teeth, how can they be so abusive to all their spoons? So like every spoon had damage. So I'm I think that's what's happening. They're dropping it down the garbage disposal. But it looked cool. And I'm like, I'm going to use that. So that website that she was talking about, have you tried it?
I've been on that probably last year. I found real sterling stuff, and I just I needed to know what the pattern was called to list.
Do you remember what the website is? Something limited.
Oh, it's like is it replacements
limited?
Yeah.
So I think it's replacements limited.
Let us know again, Tara, please. Yeah. We're novices here.
Yeah, for sure. The next segment, let's go back and do 2 truths and a lie. We'll tell 2 truths about ourselves and 1 lie, and the other person has to guess which one is the lie. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So these are 2 truths. Wow, I'm making some sales.
Yeah.
I left that in the background because today has been really quiet for sales. All right, in no particular order, these are 2 truths and 1 lie, okay?
Yep.
I have been snowboarding since I was 17 years old. I have 7 tattoos on my body, and I was in a boy band in high school.
Oh, I think you go snowboarding. I think you mentioned that one time, and you live in an area that probably has mountains, so I can believe that. Tattoos. I'm going to say that's true. So what was the third one?
Snowboarding since 17, 7 tattoos on my body, and I was in a boy band in high school.
I'm going to say you weren't in a boy band in high school.
Was it too outlandish?
No, I think we briefly talked about musical talent. I vaguely have a memory of talking about music at one point.
I can't even pretend that I was New Kids on the Block.
All right.
Well done. Very good.
Yeah. So here's mine. I am 2 degrees away from Kevin Bacon. That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I went skydiving, whitewater rafting, and up in a hot air balloon all in the same summer. And 3, my wife's first cousin played in the NFL. And not only did he play in the NFL, but he was a quarterback. And not only was he a quarterback, he played in the Super Bowl. And not only did he play in the Super Bowl, but he won the Super Bowl.
There's way too much thought into that one.
You want me to sum it up in 1 sentence?
No. You make yours way too difficult.
I know.
For some reason, I don't. the Kevin Bacon one, no. I'll go with your second one.
Skydiving,
Hot air balloon, skydiving, whitewater rafting, all in the same summer.
Okay.
That's not true.
That is true.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I'm not 2 degrees away from Kevin Bacon. I think I figured it out one time, and somehow I got it narrowed down to 3 degrees.
Okay.
But I can't remember the connection. I know some people in the music business, and one of them knows somebody that's famous, and they were in a movie, and so yeah. Anyhow,
Wow.
but yes, my wife's first cousin was a Super Bowl quarterback and won the Super Bowl, and I will share who that is later on in the podcast.
Cool.
All right. Next, we're going to go to story time. We'll share an interesting story of a reselling event, past or present. Dennis, do you have a story?
I don't know why I thought of this. You mentioned something. I think of those records that you had.
Okay.
I think that keyed something in here. This had to have been like 4 or 5 years ago. I wasn't even a full-time reseller. I just responded to an ad on, I think it was Craigslist. And this guy was cleaning out his basement, and he used to work for a company called Digital Equipment Company, DEC. I don't know if you've ever come across that stuff. It's out this way,
No.
East Coast, but they were, I don't know if they're competitors with Microsoft back in the day. Eventually, they were bought out by Compaq. And they would make, you're talking like 1970s stuff. So anyway, he's like, come on over and take whatever you like. It's free. I'm like, okay. I knew nothing about this. Let me show you what. It's so odd, this stuff. But these things, this is how you would store media. So
Okay.
this is one built by Memorex. But if you've ever seen like a cake pan, like you store like a baked cake in this like I don't know, the circular type of cylinder thing. They're big. They're about 1 foot across and about 8 to 10 inches tall. And they're calling them disc platters. And you would take this thing out and you would put it into a machine like this. There's a DEC right there. So this is a digital one right here.
Oh.
$4,500. He did not have any of the machines, but he had a ton of these discs right here. And mine had, I think it was like made out of copper. It had this handle like this, and see the colors and all that. Look at them all. I took as many of these as I possibly could, and I actually sold them on eBay. Like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, but it was super cool. I learned a ton because I had no idea what they were, and they would go in a machine, and that was like storage. Like that's how you would store. Now we're using thumb drives. There was probably maybe 2 megabytes of space on something that big. You're talking this big, huge 1 foot round. It had all these like fins in it, and it would spin after you put it in this machine. So he gave me those. He gave me like storage bags, pens, everything from that company, and people went nuts. Every time I listed something from Digital Equipment Company, DEC, it was very quick, within a few days. So that was the first time I actually went, found something for free, and flipped it. And I think I made $400 on that. And then, that might have been the birth of the Free King Flipper. I don't know, but I was hooked after that.
Your origin story.
Yeah, that's really how. Not my first time reselling, but my first time finding stuff and then making a really good return on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a random story that I totally forgot about, and you reminded me when you were talking about your records, the LPs or the 7 inches.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Moving on to home runs and strikeouts. Your best and your worst sales of the week. Take it away, Dennis.
I don't have a visual of this, but this was in a lot of today's episode is going to be from that haul at that estate sale. I think almost everything I I talk about will be from that. But my home run this week was I found, while I was sourcing his basement, I found and sold almost as soon as I listed it. I think it was like 7-8 minutes. And my wife's next to me as I'm listing, and all of a sudden she hears the cha-ching. She's like, really? Already? I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
It is a 40s or 50s, right around there, pennant, full-size pennant that you would hang on the wall, made of wool. And on the back, it had the tag USA and all that. And it was from Georgetown University. And this thing was awesome. It was so cool. Took great pictures of it, listed it. And like I said, less than 10 minutes later, sold $100.
Whoa.
And yeah.
Nice.
So back to what you were saying, did I price it too low? Should I put 200 plus, in best offer? I don't know. It was the only one on there. It was literally the only one from that era. Everything else was like 90s, and then of course modern. But
when you were searching by team, I mean,
I was searching like Georgetown University, and it just said Georgetown, and then I think it had like the seal, like the college's seal on it. I could find other ones from Georgetown, but nothing that old.
What year did you say it was? 40s?
Like late 40s, early 50s.
Did it have a date on it, or how did you date it?
No. I searched 40s and 50s wool pennants, and a lot of the same style came up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I advertised it, and it was gone. So
yeah, there's a YouTuber I think that sells lots of pennants. He's gotten over $1,000 for some pennants. That's crazy.
Don't tell me that.
Well, I'm not saying that. Yeah, well, I can tell you that, but I doubt that yours was one of those. But I wish I could think what his name was. But that's something that I don't come across very often. I have a few on my wall here, but Cincinnati Reds and the Buckeyes one, but I don't hardly ever find them. But I probably should be picking them up when I do. You got yours free, right? Or it was in your bundle,
giant
bundle, yeah.
Bundle, yeah.
That was $100 total.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got some back here from Vanderbilt that I haven't listed yet.
Okay.
They're probably from like the 90s.
Okay.
But I think I might do a little more research before I just let them go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy.
That's your home run.
Yeah. So strikeout for me. This is just a stupid thing where I took the barcode. I was listing a Blu-ray, sealed Blu-ray. I clicked the barcode. It came up. I hit sell similar. Great. Boom, boom, boom. Sent it up. Sent it in, and somebody bought it a few days later. Shipped it to them. They got it. Immediately opened a return, saying this is not the Blu-ray version. This is just the DVD. I'm like, really? So because sometimes you'll get that case that looks like a Blu-ray, but it'll have both. It'll have both in there.
DVD
and
the
he's
Blu-ray.
claiming that this is just the DVD. So I'm like, I don't.
You said it was sealed?
Yeah. So I looked on my pictures and I looked in the back, and sure enough, I cannot find anywhere where it says Blu-ray.
But it's a blue case.
It looks just like a Blu-ray. No, it was a different color case. It wasn't like a classic Blu-ray.
Okay.
But I scanned the barcode, and I don't know, someone else sold the exact same thing.
I see. That makes sense.
So I'm just like, yep, okay, my bad. That's never happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when you do the sell similar, I'll pick and choose, not everything is exactly what you have. It'll populate all the stuff, but make sure you go through all of those things. Sometimes people write in some weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was right.
Yeah.
It was just the DVD.
Especially on it's in the item specs. People will sometimes add their own item specs, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
if I copy this person would know instantly that I copied their ad, because stuff isn't even true. It's like their refund policy or something. I don't know. It's just weird stuff once in a while. Hey, if you ever buy another bundle of media and you come across Blu-rays that are 3D, I'll take them all, because I have a 3D television and
cool.
a 3D Blu-ray player and about 6 pairs of glasses. So anytime I find a Blu-ray at a yard sale that's 3D, I buy them. So
All right. I will be on the lookout. I'm
all
sure
right.
there's some in here.
Ooh, yeah, I should. I'll make me a deal. I'm not reselling them, so. Okay, my home run is a vintage keyboard, PS2 keyboard that came with an old computer. I have I'll add it to this here. This is what it looks like. It was in the box. And the estate sale that I was at a couple weeks ago that had all the old PC games, they also had a ton of computer stuff in the garage. And I started pulling everything that was electronics into a big pile in the middle of the floor. And I said, how much for all of this? And the guy's like, $20. I said, sold. Took me like 6 trips to carry everything to my car. There was so much. It was all like parts and pieces and keyboards and who knows. I mean, I didn't even go one of the boxes. I just kind of looked in. I saw some blank media and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I don't even want to know what's in there because then I can honestly say I don't know what it's worth.
Right.
This keyboard was in there and it was still in the box. And I sold it for, what does it say? $59. I had several offers for like $30 and $40, and I declined them all. I didn't even counter offer because I had just listed it that day, and probably 6 or 7 offers came in, and then the next morning someone paid full price. So, some of these keyboards, they have what's called like click keys or clackety keys. They make a sound when you press the keyboard. I think those are worth a little more. There's like metal. So everybody wanted me to pull off some of the keys and take pictures of what the keys look like. Apparently that's an important thing when you're selling these old keyboards. So some of these will have metal underneath them. And there's the box. Let's see if I can. It had the owner's manual with it, but there's what the connector looks like. I don't know if you can see that. Or not. It's like a 5 or 6 pin connector. It's larger. Then they went to a smaller round connection. Then they went to USB. So apparently these are in demand. People want these for their old vintage computers that they're rebuilding. So if you come across a keyboard that has this fitting and it's in decent shape, some sell for over $100. This one, I guess, wasn't the most expensive. There's IBMs that have sold for over $500, just the keyboard. So
what do you do? I mean, what are you doing with these old ones? I mean,
they're building an old computer with like a 5.5 or 5.25 floppy and a 3-inch floppy, and they're putting like Windows DOS or not DOS or Windows 3.1 on them. So they want it all. They want that. It's coming back. I don't know. It's back
vintage
already,
computing.
So that keyboard was in that box of electronics that I paid $20 for everything. And one of the other things I found in the box that I haven't even listed yet is a 5.25-inch floppy disk drive that's internal for a computer. So I don't know if it works, and I don't even know how to test it really. I don't have an old. I could probably figure it out, but anyhow. So some of those sell for really good money. I've sold one in the past for over $150. It was external.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to really dig through that box and see what I have. But my strikeout was a vintage Polaroid automatic 360 land camera. Some of these cameras that are film cameras, they don't have. You think that they're going to be worth something just because they're old, and you don't want to use them. Maybe set them on a shelf for decor. But I'll show you what it looks like here.
Oh yeah.
I bought this whole lot at an estate sale. I don't think I paid much, but as you can see, it only sold for $10.93. This old camera here, I don't know why, but this style doesn't seem to have a lot of. I guess I don't have that many pictures. Not a lot of resale value in these cameras. All right, so here's some of the sold ones, and $25. Here's one for $32. I don't know why. Oh, 3 of them. Yeah, with flashes and everything. They're kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I would kind of stay away from these old cameras, this style. I don't even know what this era is, but some film cameras, like the ones you've talked about in the past, have some good sell-through rates. But if these are not like 1960s, maybe 50s, 60s, I don't see any dates.
60s, yeah.
Yeah, 1960s. There you go. Yeah. Ooh, that's kind of neat. So I don't even know. I mean, I suppose photographers might think these are cool things to put on their shelf.
That's about it. You're not going to use them.
Right. Okay. That's my strikeout is $10 camera that I had for maybe a year. Bolos and Nolos. One thing to be looking for and one thing that you would not buy again. Tell us what you have, Dennis.
I have a cool bolo that I just learned about. And if you're going to guess where I found this item, yes, it is in that estate sale basement cleanout. I didn't even put these in the box. This was just a box. There was boxes everywhere, and I was just throwing more stuff in it.
Okay. And
check this out. Let me see if you would have stopped or even tried to look these up. I don't know. Would you have stopped in your tracks to look up old wrestling ticket stubs?
Yes, I would have probably.
Okay, good. Good. How many of you people out there would not have? How many of you would have said, these are just old ticket stubs and throw them in the trash? Be honest. This really shocked me. So why I stopped at this was because I saw WWF. It's not WWF anymore, right? They had to change that due to the World Wildlife Federation? Anyway,
I don't know.
Mine are actually in here. Look at this one. $500.
Wait, what? That's not the one you sold.
No, mine is where's mine? Right here. Here's mine. 3 tickets from the 1993 WWF at the Knickerbocker Arena, and I guess that's New York.
Okay.
And this sold in less than 5 minutes for $50 plus shipping.
Ooh.
So
good job.
Yes, definitely a bolo. I mean, look at this guy even got the thing graded. That's absolutely insane.
What's that price?
That was looks like they took an offer, but he had it on there for $600 for a ticket.
Wow.
This one here, I don't know if they paid or not. $1,000 for this one. And then some of the events that they will put on here, like if you ever had like a WrestleMania ticket, I bet you those. Here's one, Survivor Series, $350 for that one. Here's another $900 one. So yeah, that's my bolo. I had no idea that these were worth that much. And I would say tickets in general, right? You'd want to maybe scan if you have like old concert tickets from like the 70s, 80s, maybe the 90s, just search them up. See, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. It was $50.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sold very quickly. My Nolo is something I sold this week. I know that's not how it's supposed to work. I used to pick up, I think I have it on here. I used to go around when you're an everything seller, you tend to sell everything. And for some stupid reason, I would go around and I'd pick up old swing line staplers.
I saw two today in the estate sale, and I actually looked them up.
So, all right. So tell me, am I saying truth here? Like I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not going to pick them up, especially used ones that,
it's got to be highly unique.
Yes. But these were the beige ones and the black ones. And I've had like 3 or 4 of them in the shop. I finally sold the last one. I'm like, that is it. I am not picking these up anymore. They weigh about a pound. So of course there's going to be like all good ones in here. Let's see. No, they're all like $7, $12. Here's a green one. Here's a blue one, but I'm selling, like, here's one that has Ford written on it and only sold for $15. I thought that would be more. There it is. These ones, these two right here. These are the ones I always find.
Yep.
The brownish one and then this black one. $20 with free shipping. It's not worth it.
$8. So you're going to make like maybe 12.
Maybe.
Well, it's just, it depends where it's going. But are there any staplers worth buying from Swingline?
I don't know. I'm looking through here and
can you sort?
Here's one. Here's one that's, that one there is in a box. But everything I see here is right around the $10, $14.
I wonder if you can lot them up. If you
not
save
that
them,
not that I find a ton of them, but
yeah.
All right, so going from high to low, there's a cool red one. I've never seen that color. That's sold for $38. And then these ones, I guess, with the little thing on the top, the little handle on the top. I see those selling.
But they're not. What's that price? Those aren't very much.
These are all like $30, 30 plus shipping.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the one I'm talking about. It's the model 747 Classic. This blue one right here. So maybe I won't pick up those anymore, but maybe I'll start picking up these ones. These are even older. Model 333. It looks different. Definitely looks like 60s. And those are all selling for about $30. So that's worth it to me. Here's one, $45. So it's that.
Okay. So that style. Is that
Model
a 333?
333. Yep.
Okay.
So stay away from the 747 and pick up the 333.
All right. Let me show what I have here for that stapler. This is 3 years of data on Terapeak. The Swingline Optima 70 electric stapler, $423. And then it looks like here's another Optima 70 sheet. You can staple 70 sheets at one time. $400.
Okay.
Yeah, 70 sheet. $400 or $366. If you ever see a Swingline Optima that can staple 70 pages at once, it looks like that's the one you want.
Unbelievable.
But I'm scrolling way down to find here's another 70 sheet one. It's different style completely. Let's see what this looks like.
Oh yeah. I've never seen one of those.
Yeah, and that's $200. Well,
Yeah.
let me zoom in on one of what's this one? The Optima 70.
So it looks pretty modern.
Yeah, I've never. A Milton from Office Space. 225. Wow.
That's my stapler.
Yeah.
What with the Swingline?
Classic movie.
All right. Well,
all right. Well, so there you go.
A Nolo into a bolo.
We always have to somehow find the positive and the negative. So
yeah. So,
but yes, I don't buy staplers anymore. Unless they're free and they came in a big box, then I'm going to try to get something out of them if I can. My bolo is a Yeti. Now, Yeti mugs everyone's talking about them on YouTube. It's a major bolo. Some of them can sell for hundreds of dollars. But my Yeti is not a tumbler or a mug. It is a figure.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah. My mother-in-law gave me this and said, "Can you sell it?" And so notice how I use Photo Room down here to the free version. And then I tried to match up the background color to his face. Looks pretty good.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
I got $34 for it. Here's what it looks like. That's the photo I took. Wait, no, one of these angles. I don't know. But I listed it at my mother-in-law's house and I got $34 for it. So that's
awesome.
My Yeti bolo. So if you see, this is a Toys R Us exclusive. Okay. So some of these toys, I don't know what year it was. I don't think it's that old actually. Probably modern era. Or what, maybe 10 years old or so. But yeah, it's 15 inches tall. Toys R Us exclusives have a little bit of value. Look them up. And I will be on the lookout at yard sales for these because a lot of times you'll see them in a bin for $1 or $2 maybe. And my Nolo this week is Pampered Chef products. I know you see them everywhere you go. And I remember back in the day when you'd go to Pampered Chef parties, or I was working in an office and somebody would have a Pampered Chef party over lunch. So then all the employees got kind of dragged in there because we got free lunch. And then
That's
the
right.
person putting it on would hand out all the brochures of all the different Pampered Chef products. And then they wanted you to buy one. It's like their birthday party or something. So I bought like my pizza cutter and some pizza pans and some other things that as a single guy, there wasn't much I really needed because I didn't hardly cook.
Yep.
But yeah, Pampered Chef isn't that great, but I'm asking myself the same question I just asked you. What Pampered Chef stuff is good? Let me see if I got this.
I don't know. I don't pick up a lot of it at all.
Yeah.
Did they try to sell you a timeshare as well, or?
Well, they were friends, right? So you couldn't say no.
Okay.
You had to buy something.
Wow. Suckered in.
Yeah, I know. It's some of these Pampered Chef stuff. This is all stuff that's like 99 cents. And there's a lot of it.
Wow.
There's 47,000. So let's go to solds here. $500 for a pasta make cooker? I don't
No
know.
way.
What are they doing? Can opener? Now $500. What why is this happening? This just people being funny?
It has to be. No one's paying that.
It says they sold 2 for $500 each.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good old laundering.
Here's a knife set. Well, why would you launder money on eBay? Because isn't it launder money is you get rid of cash? How can you use cash on eBay to launder your money?
You're washing it somehow.
You're washing
Through-
your digital currency?
Pretty much. I don't know.
I've heard-
I don't.
Okay. I've often wondered how.
If I knew exactly how to do it, it would probably raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, it's a secret. I could tell you, but then I'd have to get rid of you.
All right, that looks pretty cool.
So yeah, here's $285 for some kind of cookware, a 10-piece cookware. And here's some more cookware, non-stick, which if you watch the movie on Netflix about Teflon, you don't ever want to buy Teflon products again. What's the name of that movie? Dark Waters. Have you seen that yet? Yeah. I remember when Teflon used to actually peel off the pans, some of the early Teflon. And then my mom would throw it away. But I'm like, who knew that stuff was like poison?
I mean, who knows what they're using now? It's probably not really better.
I'm hoping it's a little better. They were making $1 billion a year selling Teflon.
Yep.
Yeah. If you just watch the movie Dark Waters and then see if you throw away all your Teflon pans after that. We only have stainless steel in our house. We got rid of all of them before the movie. But so yeah, I would go with pots and pans and cookware, and I wouldn't use it, but I would sell it because it's all okay. Here's some crock pots, Pampered Chef that sold for $250. So it looks like that's the kind of stuff that you want to look for Pampered Chef. Here's a blender that sold for $250. So blenders, crock pots, pots and pans, everything else.
Yep.
Don't even look it up. I'm just telling you, don't look it up. Save it for me. I'll look it up when I get there. Oh, Dennis, eBay must have turned you on. I'm waiting for eBay to turn me on today. I've only had one sale.
Yeah, it's been a slow day. I don't know why.
Moving on to the segment that Dennis loves. He did the happy dance for us. You have a different dance you can do for us this week?
I get the shopping cart.
The shopping cart dance? What's that?
You don't know that one?
No.
There you go.
Nice. I've never heard of that.
That's the shopping cart.
Well,
you could visualize it, which is good. I was in a boy band.
Time machine. We will travel back to a specific year. What would you buy then to sell today? And we do a different year each week. What year do we go with, and what did you choose, Dennis?
We chose the year 1991, and I don't even think I researched for more than 5 minutes, because as soon as I thought of that year, I thought of Game Boy.
Ooh.
Game Boy. This is when Nintendo released Game Boy and all of the games, and pretty much, I don't know, started a fad, a cult. Yeah, I mean,
Cultural phenomenon.
it's really. I mean, they started out with the one you can
Mhm.
see right here. This one is brand new, and this is probably what I'm going to pick up. Brand new in the box, never been opened, $5,000.
Yeah, that's the one I'm picking up.
And then, here's a whole bunch of them. This is just for parts for $650. I mean, there is still a huge cult following. It's a horrible, let's be honest, it's a horrible machine.
Mhm.
It's not color. It's just that green screen, and it's hard to see. It gets distorted. But as you can see, people are buying these things like crazy. I mean, we didn't even look for the games. The games are nuts.
Yeah.
Um,
How much for like a broken one? Or
well,
I-
funny you ask, because in that box at the estate sale, I found one,
ooh,
and it was filthy. And I use a Dollar Tree brand degreaser, and I put it into a spray bottle. It's not Dollar Tree brand. It's like California Orange. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Or Amazing? Is it Amazing? Something like that. Amazing Orange.
Yeah.
And I use that, and I dilute it just a little bit, and it cleaned it up real nice.
Mhm.
The kid had like tape going across the back for some
Mhm.
reason, because it has the battery door, which is always missing.
Yeah.
This was corroded in here.
So how'd you clean that?
I usually do a Q-tip with a little bit of vinegar,
Okay.
and it starts to come off. Cleaned it all up. He had in that box like 3 different games, and put fresh batteries in. It turned on, the screen came up, and that was it. It would not load the game. So this is currently in my store. I think it's only like $30 because it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
In the description, it powers on. It will not read games, and it gets stuck on they call it the splash screen.
Okay.
And that's it. But all the buttons work. I mean, this will sell. It's
Mhm.
broken, but it still will sell. It's not in terrible shape.
Yeah.
But that's it. So I'm buying a whole bunch of these brand new in the box, and I'm leaving them sealed. I'm not opening up anything, and then I'll cash in on my investment, anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000, right, for a brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the colors started to come out after that. You can get the yellow ones, the blue ones, the purple, all that stuff. So they really ran with it. And anytime you see one of these, I don't care if it works or not, pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, don't pay $30 for this, because that's what it sells for. But
Yeah.
at a yard sale, just look back here. If it's corroded, I always show the person selling it. I'm like, oh yeah, I see all the corrosion
Mhm.
here. And they were like, all right, how about $2? Sure. So something like that. But that's it. That's my time machine.
So $35 broken is what
Mhm.
they will go for. If it works, what are you getting out of it?
I have sold one with a few games for over $100.
Okay.
Yeah. So look at that. There's an open box one for a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
Parts, tons of them. Parts for
Yeah.
repair. In fact, it's almost every single listing in here. So yeah, here's one, $80. It looks kind of beat. The screen gets scratched. Now you see the gray around here,
Mm-hmm.
the screen that goes over the screen, and a lot of the times they're missing, like
Missing.
this one.
Yep.
There's nothing there, and even that sold for $30. And then look at the screen turns on.
Yeah.
There's another missing screen. So
I wonder if you
Yeah,
can sell just the battery compartment cover.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's probably always missing. Here's
Mhm.
a nice one. This one is tested. It's working. It comes with Metroid, and it was $100, and it looks like he took an offer of like $85 plus shipping. So
Well, when I
Yeah.
first started reselling, my mother-in-law gave me 3 of them to sell, and they
Nice.
were all damaged, or they all, they had some kind of issue. I think back even 2 years ago, I sold them all for like probably $30 each, somewhere in that area. I think I got
Yeah.
over $100 for the 3 of them, just over 100 if I remember right. So they were my wife has two sisters, and one was my wife's, and apparently they couldn't share, so each one of them had their own. So she gave me the 3 to sell. And
Cool.
that was when I first realized, ooh, even damaged, these things have some value. So I didn't know how much they've went up over the last couple of years. Apparently not a lot, but it's stable.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it seems like the market's kind of flooded. There's
Very
a guy
much.
that I follow a guy on YouTube called the Odd Tinkerer. I don't know if you've ever watched him. He restores different things. Sometimes it's like an axe handle or an axe or an old tool or something, but then he does video game restorations too. And he never talks. He just kind of shows you step by step what he does and how he cleans things. So I think he restored one of those, or I think he's restored a few of them. So I like watching stuff like that on YouTube just when I'm in a mood to do nothing but stare at a screen.
You're saying that the Quirky Picker likes to watch the Odd Tinkerer? Okay. It's a
Yes,
stretch, but all right. Sure.
Yeah, I get it. So, my son plays drums. Maybe I should have him record a
That'd be great.
Rim shot.
Yes.
My time machine, which is hilarious because I had written down my 3 questions originally for 2 truths and a lie. And one of the truths was that my wife's first cousin was a Super Bowl quarterback. He won the Super Bowl. And then when you said the year 1991, I'm like, this is perfect because he was the winning quarterback for the 1991 Super Bowl. And
what team?
None other than the Giants.
Oh, no way.
Jeff Hostetler. Yep. My wife's first cousin. Jeff's dad and my mother-in-law are brother and sisters. I'm like, what can I find on eBay of Jeff Hostetler's that would have a little bit of value? And the only thing I come up with, it's not like he's a Hall of Famer or anything, but like some of the starting lineups that from him sell for around $30. So I would probably buy a bunch of starting lineup and then have him sign them all. Maybe some football cards, have him sign them and then seal them up. Not a lot of value there, but it'd be sentimental value for sure. I'd keep one for myself. I was going to read a little bit about the Super Bowl, but that year, I'll just go away from this here. He didn't start. It was Phil Simms who started that season and played almost the whole season till I think they were 10-0, and then Phil Simms got hurt. And so Jeff came in and the Giants lost a few games, and then finally he got things turned around and led the team to the Super Bowl. I think some people would say that he's like one of the worst quarterbacks ever to win a Super Bowl. And that's only because he didn't get to start because of who was in front of him. And back then you didn't have any free agency. So you were stuck with the team that signed you. So he sat for like 7 years, never played behind Phil Simms the whole time. Then finally, I think he got traded to Washington, and then I think he played for Oakland as well. But I remember him playing back before I met my wife, and I didn't have that connection, but I've met him a couple times at the Hostetler reunions.
Very cool. And he's got a ring.
Can never take that away. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Do you have any closing thoughts for us, Dennis?
Just have a great week, guys. Hopefully you are learning some stuff. I learn stuff every single week from just chatting and doing the little segments that we do. It's awesome. So drop us a line and a comment, a like, please. Let your friends know if you got reseller friends. Let them know about this cool podcast, and we'll keep doing it. So thanks.
Yeah. You have big plans? You got any yard sale plans for today or tomorrow?
A few. It's I don't know. It's like an off weekend where there's just not a lot of them. But I'm going back to that guy, and he's having that one again in his basement. So might as well, right? I mean, there's probably more stuff there. So that's probably what I'll do. And then if I find any other yard sales, I'll stop in there. Yeah.
This morning when I had that estate sale I went to, but on the way home, I took a different road, and suddenly I'm like, development yard sale starts at 10 a.m. And I looked at my clock and it was 9:58. And I'm like, oh yeah. Because if it would have been like 9 o'clock, I still probably would have turned in. But I hit 7 yard sales in that development and hardly bought anything.
Oh,
I bought a scooter, an electric scooter that they said the battery power, it shows that the battery's full power, but it wouldn't work. It sells for like $350 if it works.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to take it to my father-in-law, see if he can like troubleshoot it. And
Yeah.
because I paid $5 for it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
That's
I'm buying this thing busted. I don't care. I'll sell it for parts if I have to, but
wow. That's a good pickup.
yeah. So today there's a great development that I go to every year. It starts at 3:00 and that's an hour and a half ago, but we had to do this podcast today at 3. So I'm going to be heading there as soon as we're done. All right. Well, take care, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.